Chelsea target Victor Osimhen has agreed terms with Napoli on a new contract that includes a release clause worth around £112 million. Osimhen is a key transfer target for Chelsea as they plan a move for the top striker. The Nigerian striker has agreed a deal with Napoli that will run until 2026 and is expected to end with his move in January. However, Osimhen could move at the end of the season, and a move to Chelsea next summer is still possible. A firm price tag is now virtually set, and the Blues must be encouraged that Osimhen is set to move to Stamford Bridge. Osimhen has described Chelsea legend Didier Drogba as one of his football idols and relishes the idea of playing in the Premier League. Napoli have reportedly begun selecting replacements for the 24-year-old African Footballer of the Year, in the hope that the big club will meet his release clause. Chelsea are still considering whether to make a move for the striker in January as they make their plans for the winter transfer window. Mauricio Pochettino has insisted Chelsea must spend again to increase their firepower, and he wants a man-of-the-match striker to give his side length, physicality and goals. Osimhen, who fired Napoli to the Serie A title last season but started this season with injuries, fits that profile. He would want well over £100,000 a week, and Chelsea face a big decision on whether to tear up the top striker's wage structure. Chelsea are also interested in Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres and Brentford's Ivan Toney, as well as teenagers Rooney Bard at FC Copenhagen and Antonio Nusa at Club Brugge. Pochettino has made it clear
Victor Osimhen back in team to face South Africa.
Spending more than £1 billion. The new players under owners Todd Burley and Clearlake captain, Chelsea are confident they can spend more to the principles of financial fair play soon. The Blues will be boosted by the £52 million summer signing of Christopher Nkunku, who missed the first 4 months of the season through injury. Nkunku has stepped up training this week and is looking to make his debut against Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. Ivan Toney has taken to social media to thank Brentford fans after missing half of the season through suspension. The 28-year-old was only able to make 17 appearances for the Bees in total following an 8-month betting ban that started prior to the end of the 2022-23 campaign. Having been away from the first team for half of that before returning to training and practice matches in the lead-up to his January return, Toney's standing as one of the best strikers in England has taken a hit. Ollie Watkins and Dominic Solanke both took advantage of his absence to become the leading marksman alongside Erling Haaland. Although Brentford were able to stay up despite missing their talisman and other key players at points through injury and international competition, it was a disappointing year for Thomas Frank. The Bees finished 16th, below Everton, and failed to make the same impact that had been managed in their first 2 seasons in the top flight. Without Toney's goals, it was a quiet year for the West Londoners. Even once their star was back in the side, he only managed 4 goals with just 3 coming from open play. An initial run of 4 in his first 5 games had reminded people just why Brentford are demanding upwards of £60 million for his services, though a failure to score in the last 12 matches has left his future uncertain. 12 months ago he was a top target for a number of teams, having moved onto the radar of Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. They each appear to have moved on from Toney heading into the summer window, though. Tottenham are just the latest team to be linked with a summer move as they seek to find a new number 9. Meanwhile, attention elsewhere has turned to Benjamin Sesko and Victor Osimhen among others. Toney is still widely admired and has 1 year left on his Brentford deal, and the former Newcastle forward is also still expected to leave the club this summer. Frank has been keen to shut down talk of an exit for the England international, though. You should ask Phil Giles, Director of Football, and Matthew Benham, owner, about that because they will be even better to answer that question, he said last month. I'm pretty sure the answer will be that there is no price. I think it's all about the narrative. If you can score 5 goals in 5, then suddenly your price is through the roof. If a striker performs consistently over time, then there is a good price. I know Ivan is a good player and he's proven that many times. Last season he was fantastic, he made his full England debut and I think he's a very good player. Wolves star Mateus Cunha has revealed the advice he gave to potential new Chelsea signing Pedro Lima. The Blues are working on a deal to sign Lima from Brazilian club Sport Recife. Reports in Brazil have claimed that Chelsea have already made 2 offers to sign the 17-year-old, with the latest potentially worth up to £8 million, €10 million. Recife are thought to be holding out for the fee in Lima's release clause, which is reportedly £10 million, €12 million, for clubs outside Brazil. It remains to be seen if Chelsea will activate the clause or continue negotiations to sign the right back. Liverpool, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain and Juventus have all been mentioned in various reports as expressing an interest in signing Lima. It seems, though, that another Premier League club may have been in the running. Cunha has claimed that Wolves also made an attempt to try and sign Lima. However, the Brazilian has explained how he tried to convince his compatriot to move to Molina, only to be informed that Lima had chosen to sign for Chelsea instead. Pedro Lima is a talent, he has a bright future. He is from Paraíba who comes to Recife and has a very similar story to me. I wish him the best, Cunha told Brazilian news outlet Globo Esporte. I wanted him to be playing with me because I think Wolves were also interested. But he made his decision. Chelsea is a great club and I hope he plays and I hope to play against him often. I think he leaves here at a time where he has a big spotlight. He is a boy who has a very big projection, that everyone expects a lot from him. But things don't always happen the way we think they should happen, Cunha added. He has to have a lot of patience to enjoy the process. He needs to continue like this so that he gets there and achieves things, because one thing is here, another is there, another level. And he needs to have humility to recognize the moments of doubt, difficulties, which when you leave here are great. And may he have a lot of patience to reach the highest level of football. And may everything go well for him, as he is someone we will be rooting for a lot. Things are hotting up with the opening of the transfer window approaching, and Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on one of Chelsea's main targets. It's been a busy close season for the Blues, with the departure of Mauricio Pochettino last month and subsequent appointment of Enzo Maresca as their new head coach on a 5-year deal. Chelsea are set to be busy again in the market and have already made their first signing, with centre-back Tosin Adarabioyo joining on a free transfer from neighbours Fulham. The Blues have been linked with bringing in a goalkeeper, left-back and another centre-back depending on what happens with Trevoh Chalobah, but arguably most important of all is a striker. Chelsea are looking for a regular source of goals and a forward who can complement and compete with Nicholas Jackson. The club have held a long-term interest in Napoli's Victor Osimhen but have decided against a deal due to the cost and concerns over whether he fits their style of play. Sesko is wanted by a number of clubs, including 3 from the Premier League. It appears their main target is RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko, who has a reported release clause of £55 million, but the 21-year-old is a man in demand. Sesko is not only wanted by the Blues, but is also a target for Manchester United and Arsenal, and Romano has now shared his views on the transfer saga, and kept it brief. I expect Benjamin Sesko to make his decision very soon, he told the United Stand. Sesko finished the season strongly for Leipzig and scored 14 goals in 31 Bundesliga appearances in his first season at the club following his move from RB Salzburg last summer. The striker is currently preparing for Euro 2024 with Slovenia, where he will come up against England and Serbia in the group stage, and could face off against some of his potential new teammates if he decides to join Chelsea.